Welcome back, folks, to Sports Federation TV. Great to have you along, as always. And, of course, as you know, we keep talking about sport in the Western Cape. And many of the sport codes have been doing a lot of work during the holiday period, a lot of planning and preparation. In fact, a lot of this planning and preparation started towards the end of last year already. Chris Naude is from Western Cape Climbing, joins me back, has been a regular on the show. Chris, nice to have you back in 2022.
Yeah, nice to be here, JP. Thanks for inviting me, and to you and anyone else watching, Happy New Year, and hope 2022 is an awesome one for you.
Well, we're pretty sure it's going to be a great one. Everybody's excited. Everybody's ready to get back into things. Chris, did I say it right there? Was there, I mean, you guys have already got a full events calendar for 2022. Was there a lot of planning and preparation during the holidays, or did you guys get it all done at the end of last year?
Most of the planning and what have you, we organised the dates already a couple of months before, around about October or so. We'd kind of decided on the dates and what have you. So all of that is done well in advance. It's always difficult to get people motivated and together in a meeting, even a virtual meeting when they've got Christmas parties to think about. But we managed to keep going, yeah. And
2020 saw the Africa Continental Championships held here at City Rock in Cape Town. You, of course, had another one now recently in Johannesburg.
That's correct, yeah. So the Federation had a Continental Championship. We hosted the Continental Championship. I think in Africa that's going to be like that for some time. The other countries have got a bit of catching up to do in terms of facilities, really, and they've got the desire and they've got climbers, but they don't have the facilities.
What does that mean from an Africa Continental Championships point of view? How does that event work? Is it a couple of days? Are there different categories and divisions?
So it was a little bit complicated this year in Johannesburg because they had to move the competition around to different venues, and we did the three different disciplines. The speed climbing, bouldering, and lead climbing were all done in separate venues on different days, just because of the travel between them and so on. So it was a little different to the way one would normally structure a competition like that, but it all worked out reasonably well in the end. Yeah, certainly it's great to have the other African countries coming here and joining us in these things, and we'll certainly keep up that, and we'll be inviting them to our local competitions as well, just to give them competition experience, and it's quite a let's say it feels good from an expansionist point of view, getting other countries involved in it.
Chris, Africa Continental Championships, obviously a big one. Do the athletes take a break? We know you've got the Western Cape Championships coming up.
So we had, interestingly, we had a discussion around that, a workshop on periodization and training and what have you. And most of the athletes kind of had the conclusion was that, no, we're not taking a break. It's even if it's supposedly good for me, it's not something that I'm going to do. Climbing being a lifestyle sport, I think, just means that when you're not training, you're still out climbing. You're in the mountains climbing and having fun and doing what it is you love. So no, people don't take a break.
Do other climbers now starting to look at things like, because I would imagine strength and conditioning for climbing is an important factor. Are the athletes looking at elements such as nutrition, off-season training?
I hope so. We tried to encourage that, and we also had a workshop for them on nutrition and keeping yourself in tone, if you like, particularly during the silly season. And I hope it rubbed off.
Chris, the Western Cape Championships is then coming up February. As you mentioned, a lot of planning and preparation for that as well. Just tell us about that. Where will it be? Who will be participating?
So we've selected people from our ranking system. We've implemented a new ranking system in the Western Cape, which we've actually extended to a national ranking system because there's not a formal one in place. And the teams will be, the climbers will be selected from that lot. The competition will be held at Block 11 and City Rock, the two big gyms down here in Cape Town. So that's happening in the end of February.
From the provincial championships, of course, most of the athletes will be looking to go to the nationals.
For sure, yeah. So the nationals, again, luckily it's in Cape Town as well. So a month later we'll be having the national championship here in Cape Town, same venues and what have you. For that we are hopefully negotiating at the moment to get an international route setter and what have you for the national championships, and getting a whole lot of the Olympic type holds and volumes to use in the competition, which we've got some great support from international manufacturers and what have you. That's being quite kind to us in terms of giving us seconds and good pricing and so on these things.
That's great news. So, Chris, you guys have had your hands full. Africa Championships that's just taken place. You've got the Western Cape Provincial Championships and then the Nationals in March. How do you manage to keep the athletes so engaged? I mean, everybody else has been saying that it's been possible to grow their structures, to keep their members busy. They've been slow on events, but climbing is increasing their numbers. You've had activities. Have you guys got some sort of special formula? Did you do anything special over the holidays?
I don't know if it's a special formula, but we certainly put a lot of stuff out on social media and try to encourage people to keep climbing. It is easier, I guess, as it's a pretty individual sport and you don't have to get a whole team together on the same day. But so we had a couple of challenges. We had a movement challenge where people had to hang from a tree or whatever they wanted to, take their shirt off while they're hanging and turn it inside out and put it back on again, all while hanging from one hand and then the other hand and so on. And then, we did make sure that if you couldn't do a handstand, try the handstand, and we got them to do video themselves, fails or otherwise, and it was quite well received.
So, Chris, on a final note then, Western Cape Climbing, that's your website. If anybody wants to join, they can obviously go and visit your website, www.westerncapeclimbing.co.za.
That's correct,
climber, whether they want to compete or do it socially.
Yeah, so we have, please, if you have any interest in climbing, give us a call and we'll set it up with the gyms and introduce you to the sport and make sure that your entry into it is as easy as possible. It may seem like a difficult sport to get into, but it's actually really easy. Just pitch and rent the equipment and climb, and it's very safe. So we can introduce you to all the right people and make sure that that the entry is smooth and painless.
That's fantastic.
Well, maybe not painless, but smooth.
Well, there's a little bit of hard work in all sport codes if you want to get to the top of the pile. In your case, literally get to the top. Chris,
Exactly.
We'll leave it at that. We'll say thanks very much for joining us. Best of luck for 2022. We're all super excited. I'm sure we'll be chatting again in the next couple of weeks, and especially in the build-up to the Western Cape Champs in Feb, and then, of course, the Nationals in March.
Thank you, JP. We look forward to it, and we'll invite you to the competitions to come and have a look what's going on.
Well, this
As
year,
always.
I'm actually going to come and participate in all of the sport codes myself.
There we go. Wonderful.
There we go, folks. Chris Naude, Western Cape Climbing, and as they've just finished their Africa Continental Championships, they've got the Western Cape Provincial Championships in February, and then the Nationals towards the end of March, and we'll be following their progress every step of the way. That's a wrap from us then this evening. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.